I talked a lot about encounter balance in my videos on, well, encounter balance, and also in the Is GURPS Old School video, and this is a follow-up on that topic. In the encounter balance video, I talked about the guidelines for balancing combat from how to be a GURPS GM combat encounters, but personally I do not use them extensively, I just keep them in the back of my mind. In my games I follow the old school philosophy. I just don't balance encounters at all. I simply make encounters that make sense in the game world. Combat is not supposed to be fair, and I think that GURPS emphasizes it greatly. Ambushes are deadly, numerical superiority is important, and tactics make a huge difference. Whatever works in real life generally applies to GURPS as well. This alone makes GURPS easy to run, as every real-world concept works as you expect it to work. The lack of arbitrary character levels, challenge ratings, and similar concepts that you might find in D&D, in my experience, makes it easier, not harder to run games. I remember seeing an interesting analogy on one of the numerous OSR blogs. I really have to devote more time to reading them, there's some gold there. Old school combat is war, modern D&D combat is sport. GURPS supports both approaches, but I think that it works much better with the old school paradigm. The most important part for me is that it greatly enhances immersion and makes the game world much more believable. Combat is, just like in real life, a last resort option. Everyone likes being alive and unharmed. Not everyone runs in and fights to the death at the first sight of hostility. If you have to fight, you must understand that it is dangerous. You have to exploit any advantage you can. Terrain, equipment, numbers, tactics, traps, etc. If things are not going your way, a retreat is an absolutely valid option, and the same applies to your enemies as well. Many will try to surrender or flee after receiving a major wound, and some might do it even as soon as the fight breaks out. Imagine the following situation. The low-level player characters have to navigate an ancient forest that is said to contain many dangerous beasts, and maybe even a dragon, to find, for example, a druidic circle that is said to possess a powerful artifact. If you are playing D&D, as a player you wouldn't even fear all these monsters. They are far beyond your level, and your DM would never actually have you encounter them. No amount of tactical advantage would let you win that fight. And the DM wouldn't give you that artifact too, as that would be an item too powerful for your level. The system works under the assumption that level 4 characters have to fight enemies with challenge rating from 2 to 6 and have X amount of gold and Y number of magic items. When they grow in level, the world around them adapts. Weaker enemies just disappear, or suddenly gain character levels or previously unknown powers, and you begin to encounter more powerful foes and find better loot. To me, it feels like playing a video game. It just takes me out of the game. GURPS, and by extension all other level-less skill-based systems and the OSR systems, work better for making believable worlds. They make you interact with the world, learn more about it, and let the players use many different skills, instead of simply rolling against broadsword every second. You can find a safe shelter with survival, recognize claw marks of a manticore with naturalist, sneak past an owlbear with stealth, lay a trap for an entire band of lizard folk with a traps skill, simply avoid dangerous areas with area knowledge, evaluate the skill level and tactics by observing an enemy fight with expert skill hoplology, talk your way out of a fight or even gain allies with diplomacy or fast talk, or craft a meteoric iron sword before fighting a wizard with armory, and there are many more examples you can come up with. I believe that the old school approach, when you do not know whether you should fight or avoid the fight, make the game more engaging and actually give the players more agency. And players love agency, right? They will pick their fights, and if they win thanks to their preparations and precautions, it will feel very rewarding. Mind that I am not suggesting always pitting the players against unwinnable opponents, that would be just bullying. There is one more thing about GURPS that helps a lot with it. Combat in GURPS is dangerous, but actually dying is pretty difficult. I know that GURPS has a reputation for being super lethal, but usually it's simply not true. Remember that even if you have 10 HP, you die automatically only when you reach minus 50 HP. And even if you get knocked out, many enemies are unlikely to make sure that you are dead, if there are other dangerous combatants alive and standing. Actually, getting yourself killed isn't that easy in GURPS. I remember seeing a monk survive a bugbear delivering a swing attack with a mace to his skull. Sure, recovering after that took a while, but that monk still didn't die and could continue adventuring later on. What I am trying to say here is that balance is indeed overrated. Once you stop worrying about it and just make fights that make sense in the game world, the game becomes more engaging and much easier to actually run and prepare for. Once I stopped worrying about balance, I never looked back. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.